Oklahoma lawmakers engaged in some creative writing to alter voting laws and avoid the requirements of the 15th Amendment of the United States Constitution. But the court struck down Oklahoma's literacy test in Guinn v. United States. When Oklahoma became a state, it permitted male citizens over 21 who met certain residency requirements to vote. Not long after Oklahoma became a state, it made big changes to the suffrage amendment of its constitution. The changes required a literacy test for people who weren't permitted to vote on or before January 1st of 1866 and their descendants. The suffrage amendment didn't mention race or color. However, because of the timing of the emancipation of slaves, this amendment effectively imposed a literacy test only on former slaves and their descendants. Frank Guinn and J.J. Beale worked as election officials in Oklahoma for the 1910 election. Following Oklahoma's requirement for a literacy test, Guinn and Beale didn't allow African Americans to vote. Federal authorities prosecuted them under a federal law that made it a crime to conspire to deprive another of rights under the United States Constitution or its laws. Specifically, Guinn and Beale deprived African American men of their right to vote under the U.S. Constitution's 15th Amendment. At trial, the jury found Guinn and Beale guilty. They appealed. As the Eighth Circuit considered the appeal, it certified two questions to the United States Supreme Court. First, the Eighth Circuit asked if Oklahoma's constitutional amendment was valid. Second, they asked if the amendment was void because it attempted to take away the right to vote from former slaves and their descendants unless they passed a literacy test. The court answered the questions.